Hello, bienvenue, etc. and welcome to Car Mechanic Simulator 2014. This is the quarter mile DLC. Yes, that's right, quarter mile. We quarter miled this grey piece of rubbish, and actually it was quite easy. So there we go. We did it in under 18.5 seconds roughly. So let's see who wants their piece of junk, their lovely car speeded up next. Okay, I hear the noise of the customer running away, and they've left us, a red Vulcan Spectre. Well, maroon. Okay, so going with all the usual doodads, not bothered with second D's today. Let's take it down the track and see what it can do. Can't say did. Until we've done it. Oh, I forgot to do any revs, so it's just a cold standing start. Still, it's a racy little number. Oh, it's got many dials. Some of them have needles on. 15. Alright. And what do we need? 13. Righty-ho. Righty-ho. Let's see what was required. So we did it about 15. We just knocked a couple of seconds off. We got 10 grand. Okay, I'm not going to assume, I'm going to look. It's probably a V6. It's got the V6 electric plastic hood. It's a V6. Right, we've got 10 grand to spend. Let's do it. Got 15 now. I'm sure I've been spending up to my limit. I don't know where this extra profit's coming from. It's almost like I don't know how the game works yet. Right, so let's just go right ahead and buy all this stuff. Still all the usual stuff. Two of these. One each of these. Okay, and we'll come back when we know how much money have we spent. So we had 25. So we got a bit more. We could buy a throttle component, or we could buy a bit of exhaust. There's a few more bits we could buy. Alright, but for now, let's get on with putting these bits in. It's the same every time. This must be exciting video excitement. That's not a thing. Anyway, going with stuff that I like looking at on YouTube. Maybe we should call this My Drunken Mechanic Shop and just get pissed whilst I'm doing it. You know, for your benefit, obviously. I don't like drinking, but you know, it's all about what the customer wants. Yeah. Well. It's not like I'm going to ever get any feedback, so I don't think anyone watches these, so, whoops, hello, no, I'm trying to put this bit back on, please, there we go. It's all irrelevant, and if by some weird turn of events this did eventually get popular enough for people to come and watch, I'm sure it'll be far enough in the future that this game will be pretty much forgotten by then, and I'm not like I'm going to come back and do this different. You never know, there's future games like this that I might well film, especially if they're this easy to film. There's no little editing really to do on this, just edit out all the load screens and Bob, as they say, is your uncle. You do have to actually play the game, of course, which some might consider slightly too tedious, but I don't mind games like this that are fairly straightforward and to a degree repetitive, as long as they've got some element there to keep you excited. Now, the quarter mile isn't that for me, but because I played the rest of this game, I felt behooved, because that's a word, to, I always forget this, on a V6, the start motor's at the front. I felt behoven to play the remaining DLC, although it hasn't filled me with that much joy. It trades on the excitement you had from playing the game originally. Okay, so I'm ready to do that. Fuel filter is the only other thing. Taking the wheels off, obviously, to get at the gears for the. Oh shit! Is it a four-wheel drive? Well, who knew? Oh no, it's a rear-wheel drive. Well, do you know, I've thought about it, but I've never really noticed a rear-wheel drive. I haven't been changing the clutches on all the vehicles in one after the other like I have in this mode. So let's put these back on. Okay, SADs, that. Captain Shiny Red Wheel, reflecting the, hello? Reflecting the floor. Right, so, how do we get rid of that? Same as usual. Alright, cool. Now, if anyone's watching this for the first time wondering why I didn't change the fuel pump, well, to be fair, if you're watching it for the first time, you've already noticed the fuel pump, but it's located on the fuel tank, which is here at the back. But the game has this system where you need to go in through the area near to the bit you want to fix, so I can't actually click on this and have it do anything. Because what I need to do is raise up the car, use some ramps, and then access the rear underside, which has got its own little circular hub or entry point, whatever you want to refer to it as. And then you need to sort of arse about with the camera until you can see the thing you want to see. So in this case, you have to look at it from the front because it's in this little divot look of the fuel tank. You divot. There we go. And there we go. Put in the new one. Bolty bolty. Right, that's that done. So now I need to put myself on remove again. I have to take off the diff first. That's a bit frustrating because I have to get closer to it because it's a bit strange. But it just pulls off, so I don't see why you can't just pull off the whole thing together, but that's the way it does it. Then you spin around so we can see the front. Oh no, so that's done. So I've taken out the drive shaft, so now I have to lower it again, the car I mean, and then I can access the gearbox, change the clutch. Which we do from the front entry point, or hub, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to call it a hub. Whoops, so now we should be able to just remove this because we've taken off everything connected to it. E.g. starter motor and drive shaft. And then we can access the clutch. First to get the bearing, release bearing. And then it's the pressure plate followed by the friction plate. These are the two parts that we are changing. Doesn't seem to be a tuned up nubbin to hold it all together. Okay, reverse the polarity on your socket and click inaccurately a lot and then bolt things back in. Alright. As they say in the Haynes manuals, if you're aware of what they are, fitting is the reversal of extraction, or whatever it is, the words they use. So basically you just do it in reverse, what you did to get into it. You reverse that procedure and replace all the parts. So that's the gearbox. Remember the starter motor that we took off. Won't start without it. Won't let you out of the garage without it, don't worry. And then we can pop on. Oh, we won't be able to do it from here probably. Although it's nice to check every now and again. No, can't put the gear knobbins on. Oh, one thing we haven't put back on is of course the stupid plastic engine cover, which always catches me out. Well, that can't be important, you say. Well, the game won't let you actually do anything else until you've put that back on. Yeah, we can't go and tune the car, for instance, or you know, test drive it or anything like that, because apparently it won't work without the plastic engine cover. I'm trying to talk and think at the same time. There we go, there's the diff, rear diff. Okay, and then we have to pop it on the floor, and then we can put on the rear wheels, and we're away for dyno roll tuning. And then a little spot of dragging. Sounds like dogging when you say it like that. I'm going to go for a bit of dragging. Alright, well, don't do anything I wouldn't do. It's another weird statement, isn't it? Or admonition. Admonition? That's not a word. When you admonish someone with a little bit of advice, don't do what I wouldn't do. Something. Which usually is the case, it's said by people who do anything anyway, so thereby rendering it a slightly strange extra meaning. Wow, okay. Mumble Force 10. Still almost there. Okay. Now, say in the bottom right, no more parts to assemble, which reminds me that I've actually put everything back on the car that needs to be there. And then before we go down the track, let's tune that sucker up with the always exciting "rah rah rah" noise and the tuning process. It's like a mini game, except for where a mini game would be fun, does this. I was actually sitting there wondering why the middle one wasn't going up highest, and that's because I wasn't clicking on the middle one. Right, so now when I click on it, I want to try and get it so they're all the same, but obviously with them all meeting right at the top, like there, which is good enough. And then you click on this to see how much benefit that was, because you used to do this automatically, and it kind of feels like you haven't finished the process till you know just how many extra oomph you've added. So we've added quite a lot of extra oomph. That's a special sort of amount. Special sort of amount. And now, after cramming in those extra oomph, we can go and fling them as fast as possible down the track. Now, I've completely forgotten. No, why can't I escape to know that? We require 13.7 seconds. Alright. No way of knowing if I succeed until I get back and check the time. Yay! Success! How about that? Relatively straightforward. It's getting there anyway. Okay, so thank you for watching. Let's check it's ready to go forward. It is. Cool. So there we go. It's a pretty sporty number, so it wasn't too tricky at all. It was a rear wheel drive with something slightly new and different for me. Thank you very much for watching. I think I've already said that. So all it leaves me with is to say goodbye. Goodbye.